Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom review. See by title below, yes, this is my first impressions on episode 1 of, hold on, I'm going to have to say this name. I'm going to have to look at I'm on my anime list right now, I'm going to have to look at the title because this name is super ass long. Shumatsu Nani Shimasu Ka Isogashi Deska Sukete Morate, something like that, E Deska. Yeah, I'm not really the best at speaking Japanese, and that title is freaking long. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be saying that whole title every single time. Actually, let me see. Usually they have somewhere where there's like a abbreviation of it. And yes, here it is, SukaSuka. That's kind of weird to, be that whole thing. It's just like SukaSuka, but hey, I guess that's what I'm going to be calling it. This is my first impressions on episode 1 of SukaSuka, or otherwise known in English as another long ass name, World End. What do you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us? Yeah, that's an interesting title, and yeah, I know this episode came out like a couple days ago, and honestly, I wasn't planning on watching this anime, but I saw a lot of people were saying, it was pretty good, and I was like, you know what, yeah, I have time, let me go watch this first episode, let's see how it is, give it a try, and I ended up actually liking it. It was actually a pretty good episode. We got the whole theme of this is pretty much like post-apocalyptic world, kind of. There's like a bunch of these islands and a bunch of different races on each of them. I'm guessing, like, I think the synopsis said something about there was a war and everything, and pretty much everyone died except the people who stayed on these islands. And our main character, Willem, is pretty much the last human alive. He's the last human on Earth. I think it's Earth. I'm not too sure if it's a different, called something different. But yeah, he's the last human. So I was like, that is pretty interesting. And from the first episode, it doesn't really show, like, it actually kind of does show what's going to be happening, because the beginning part is one of those, showing way into the future kind of thing happening, and it kind of looks like it's not going to be going towards a happy ending. I could be completely wrong. Shows our main girl, Kotori, or Kotori. It sounds like Kotori, but it doesn't spell like that. And she pretty much, like, she had red hair in that beginning part. I'm not too sure if that's a different kind of thing. They are like weapons, her along with the other little girls, to which they just, like, at first I was like, he ends up like watching them and stuff like that. I was like, what kind of anime is this, from the synopsis? And then it ends up being like he actually took this job because he was supposed to look over a warehouse that, was filled with weapons. And it turns out these weapons are, well, according to Kotori, all the girls. So yeah, it's not surprising. I think I saw something with like butterfly wings. One of the girls was like slashing some huge plant thing. I'm guessing that's on the surface of the planet, which is obviously not safe. But the very beginning showed some bleak moment with our main character falling from the sky holding one of the girls, while Kotori pretty much saying that she, like, talking about how she fell in love with him, he's gonna be with her forever kind of thing, and she ends up falling down from the ship, and then it goes straight to, the present day, not present day, but years before kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not too sure if it's going to be like it shows that kind of stuff, and then when it gets to that point, if it does get to that point, because this anime it has how many episodes? I'm not too sure. It's question mark right now, so we do not know how many episodes there are right now at the moment, but it probably won't get to that point anytime soon where we do see that whole event kind of thing happening. But yeah, we don't know if it will end up changing, because have been animes where it shows the beginning part and it looks bleak, it looks like something else is going to happen, then when it does come to that point, it completely changes. And that's definitely, a possibility of actually, it happening where it ends up not being so bad. Because according to, let's see, it says the genre is sci-fi, drama, romance, fantasy. I mean, that doesn't mean it won't have a bad ending, but I mean, I love all those kind of, those genres, so I was definitely like expecting something pretty cool to see. I don't know how it's a sci-fi aspect. I know I can see the fantasy, obviously. You can see that there's probably going to be drama along the way and also romance, but I do not see how there is sci-fi in this. But I guess, like, I think in the not opening, but in the beginning scene, it did show like a ship, so I guess like that's kind of sci-fi-ish kind of ship, but the whole beginning part was pretty much just him meeting her for the first time in this city where there's a bunch of like cat animals kind of thing, and pretty much she's chasing a cat for her pendant. he catches her when she falls, gives her the pendant, and all of a sudden you go on this nice little like kind of a date between the two of them going across the entire city. You got Scarborough Fair playing in the background. I did not expect that at all. I've never expected that song to be playing in an anime unless it's been played before in another anime. I didn't expect that. I was like, what the heck? Is that the opening, or is there going to be an opening later on and they just wanted to put that in there? Because it did match the whole scene, and it was just a pretty good like intro scene. Like I wasn't expecting that kind of scene, and I was like, I honestly definitely enjoyed it. Then she gets to look off in the into the, you know, everything, not in the past, get to look off into the distance, and like now she has no regrets kind of thing. So that kind of points towards something bad going to be happening, like we see in the, you know, the very beginning scene. So that's another thing that kind of points us to something being like a bittersweet type of ending. Honestly, I'm not looking forward to that. If I don't want to watch an anime that'll make me, you know, I love it when it hits you in the feels, but when it hits you in the feels like that, it's definitely like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing anime kind of thing when it does do that. But it also just like, oh my gosh, why you gotta do this? Why you gotta hit me in the feels like that, you know? And I'm kind of scared to see if that ends up, you know, hitting me in the feels in that kind of way. So can't really do anything but continue to watch, because, you know, like I said, I did enjoy the episode. After that, he ends up going to the house. He gets ambushed by a bunch of these cute little girls. Yeah, it looks like our main character's a, you know, a lolicon. I don't know, maybe not. But they are all weapons, so I can't wait to see how the hell that is, because from the how it looks like it would just be like a slice of life, him taking care of these little girls with the, you know, the troll lady that is kind of seductive yet kind of just wants to eat him. Like literally her whole scene with him was like the comedy aspect of this whole episode. I was literally cracking up when she was like, oh, please let me eat you, please. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what the hell? It's like, I kind of want to just fall for her because she's super cute and the way she's saying like this. But then she's saying she wants to eat me. Yeah, please, no, do not eat me. It was funny. It was honestly pretty funny to see that. And I can't wait to see like how much more comedy there is in this, if that was just like a one-time thing and it isn't as much as so often. But overall, from the first episode, it gives us the main kind of like gist of what's going on with the whole beginning scene, and of course it ends with them pretty much talking about how their weapons, along with his backstory on how he's the last human on Earth and his family all died, and pretty much everyone died, obviously. I think it explains that in the synopsis. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty damn good episode, and I definitely am going to continue to watch this and review this anime for episodes on for sure, because so far I definitely enjoyed the whole Scarborough Fair being played. I love that scene. I love the beginning scene because it definitely added like a holy shit, something else is going to go down later on. Because if you didn't see that scene, everything, you know, besides that scene happening, if it wasn't there, you would just be like, oh, okay, so he meets these girls, he's going to take care of them. Sure, for some reason they're called weapons and everything, you know, that obviously that's why the military hired him. But you wouldn't think that much. But because of that scene being at the beginning, you're like, holy shit, things are going to go down sometime in the future. I don't know when exactly, but it's going to go down, and it is probably going to hit us in the feels for sure, because it looked like it was pretty damn dramatic, like the damn genre said. It's drama, romance, sci-fi, and fantasy. And like I said before, I love all of those. The ending was pretty nice as well, and honestly, it just did a good job at starting off this episode and this series. And honestly, I can't wait to see more of it. But yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything missing you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to give a like. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I think this is from a light novel as well, and a lot of people did like the way that this, I think I saw in the forums, a lot of people did like the way that they adapted this. So I want to hear from you guys. Anime watchers only, how did you feel about this first episode? Did you enjoy it like I did? Did you feel any different? Did you not care for a certain part? Or did you just enjoy everything that was in this episode as well? And light novel readers, how did you feel about this? You know, this episode was adapted really well. If it's not a light novel, if it's a manga, sorry, I'm not really too sure exactly. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. It's always interesting to hear what the source material readers, you know, think of the adaptation as well. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So till next time, see ya.